What is up, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to another PE Nintendo Switch and gaming news video. Today we've got a bunch of great information for you guys, but real quickly, if you didn't check out my videos this past weekend, please make sure you do so. I made about 5 videos if you include my live stream that I had on Project Octopath Traveler, where I played with Ulbrich. I think that's how you say his name. We had a ton of fun. I streamed for about 3 hours, so even if you're not interested in watching for all 3 hours, go check out the live stream. There was a ton of different stuff that we talked about in there. A lot of random and funny moments. So if you do have some time to spare, please make sure you check out that. Plus, the gameplay is amazing. Project Octopath Traveler could be shaping up to be the best RPG of 2018. Seriously, it's looking that good. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into the news. Suda51 has discussed No More Heroes being accepted more in the West than Japan. News on Silvia coming from Travis strikes again. So Games Radar recently caught up for an interview with Suda51 for all things Travis strikes again, No More Heroes on the Nintendo Switch. Although there was talk about the upcoming Nintendo Switch game, Suda took some time to reflect on the series as a whole. So let's go ahead and get into one part of what he had to say here. Quote, "One thing that I can say is that America and Europe definitely had a much more positive reaction to No More Heroes. It's not that the reaction was bad in Japan necessarily, but one thing that happened with No More Heroes, that happens with many of Grasshopper's games, is that they tend to do a lot better overseas. In Japan, games like No More Heroes, they've got a bit of a dirty / naughty side to them, you know? At the same time, they tend to be really bloody. A lot of Japanese gamers don't really accept that kind of game as much as Western gamers do. In North America and Europe, people tend to not only be able to accept that, but they laugh at that kind of thing. Whereas in Japan, a lot of people are kind of like, oh, I can't really deal with that." So I will talk about that in just a bit, but let's get into the next part as far as what Suda had to say when it comes to Silvia being in the game. Now, quote, "Of all the information we've put out so far, there hasn't been anything about Silvia released yet. I can't say anything right now, but when we release the next batch of information, there should be more pertaining to Silvia there, so look forward to that." So this is actually pretty cool that they're bringing Silvia back in some capacity. She was one of the best voice acted and one of the best characters in the original No More Heroes, and I really want to see her come back and what her role is and kind of how her and Travis interact, because there was a lot of funny and good interaction between the two when it comes to Travis Touchdown. And any of you guys that played No More Heroes 1, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to Travis Touchdown and Silvia. So I'm looking forward to seeing how things have progressed between the two, what's going on, and kind of just how she's in when it comes to full HD, brand new Unreal Engine 4 powered game. So that's going to be fun. Now let's briefly talk about what he said between Japan and America when it comes to these type of games. And guys, I think this is almost like a microcosm of society. Here in America, we're much more accepting to violence. We're much more accepting to a lot of these things when it comes to movies and when it comes to other stuff. However, like sexual themes and other stuff like that is a little bit more toned back here when it comes to what people play. Whereas in Japan, it's accepted more because that's not violent. Whereas violence is usually worse. I would say most people think that violence is worse than any of the other stuff out there. But for some weird reason in America, it's a little bit different here when it comes to video gaming. It's a little bit different. And yeah, we can laugh at that stuff like that, but there's been always a big outroar whenever there's any type of sexual themes or things like that when it comes to games coming over from Japan. Whereas in Japan, they're like, what's the big deal? It's not. So who cares if this person isn't wearing much clothes in this game or whatever the case is. Whereas here in America, we do have sometimes an issue with that type of stuff, and we've seen it come up about many times. I don't want to get into it, but you guys all know what I'm talking about there. So that's kind of the difference between Japan and America. I'm not saying that I like one way or another, guys. I like games the way that the creators envision them and the way that they want to bring them over. It's just a matter if I'm going to like that game how it is, you know. And No More Heroes is one of those games that, yes, it's bloody, yes, it's violent, but it's very funny. It's it's over the top, it's not really serious. It's hard to take the game like, oh my gosh, this is just so gory and graphic. It's just not that style of game. Now, things are probably going to get ratcheted up just a bit because we have an HD system, because we have Unreal Engine 4, but I don't think it's going to ever get too crazy to where it's so gory that people are going to have a problem with it. But I can see where he's coming from when he says Japan compared to America, and I noticed that a long time ago. Like when I was looking at sales and VG charts and stuff, No More Heroes did way better here in North America than it did in Japan. I think that's how it's pretty much just going to be. This is not going to be a franchise that really breaks the bank when it comes to things in Japan, but it has a very good chance of doing well. I think selling over 1 million copies when it comes to just overall total North America and in Europe. So let me know what you guys think about that kind of divide that's going on. And like I said, I'm not saying one is better than the other or anything like that, or trying to pick sides. I'm just saying, for me, I like games however they are, whether it has some of the stuff that Japan is more into, or whether it's some of the stuff that America's more into, however the developer wants to deliver that game. And if I like that game, then it's all good. So let me know what you guys think about what Suda51 had to say in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next article here. Reggie, the Regginator, is back, and he has discussed why the Switch has been so popular so far. So during Vanity Entertainment and Technology Summit, Nintendo of America President Reggie Fils-Aimé was asked about the Switch's success thus far. He weighed in on why the system has been flying off the store shelves. Reggie first highlighted that the ability to take the home console games on the go is a big selling point. Having great games like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, as well as support from big third parties and indies, has also been important. Now you can check out his full response because I thought it was very well articulated, and yeah, I have to 100% agree what he's been on here. Obviously, the home console style of games, being able to play those anywhere that you want in order to make time for busy lives or whatever the case is, or go in the living room and watch with the family while they're watching something, or you guys can all play in daughter's room or in the son's room, or whatever the case is where your bed is. That has been a big thing that I think people wanted, but they didn't know that they wanted. You knew portable systems have always been something that's been around. People have loved portable systems. It's always been something that you wanted, but never that experience. We really didn't get that real home console experience on the go. Now Sony had tried to do that with the PSP a little bit. There were definitely some home console styled games, but it still felt like a portable. It still felt like it wasn't quite there because it didn't have that second analog stick, because it wasn't in HD, although games weren't really HD too much back then, especially 2004, and then it was still PS2 and all that, but we were getting into that era with the PS3 and all that. So it was in a weird place when the PSP came out. And then with the PS Vita, it was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be it. It has a dual analog, but the dual analogs, in my opinion, necessarily aren't comfortable enough for a home console. There's not a lot of different various ways to play, and a lot of the games just seem like portable, crunched down versions of their console counterparts. Whether it was Killzone or whether it was Uncharted, any type of shooting game, Call of Duty, all of them did not feel like a home console experience on the go. They all felt like portable experiences, of console games, which it's cool, but not necessarily what people were looking for. So this is the first time, in my opinion, that we have a dedicated main console, dedicated device from one of the big three that's actually really taking that experience, the home console experience, and taking that anywhere that you want to play it. You can play a big Legend of Zelda game that's pretty much more expansive and bigger than anything the PS Vita, DS, 3DS, any of these systems that have modern 3D graphics or modern-ish 3D graphics, any of them that can do, it's pretty much more advanced and better than all of them. And it's fantastic as far as the ways that you can play them for your own comfort. When it comes to tabletop mode, Joy-Cons, you could have the Pro Controller. It gives you such a variety of ways to play, so this is the reason why it's doing well. The concept works, and the games. Obviously, Legend of Zelda, we've got big third-party stuff. I think even stuff like Street Fighter, Minecraft early, Disgaea early. These are the type of games that also help the Switch continue to keep that momentum past the original date. Plus, we still have stuff like Mario Kart. There's just so much content on the system. ARMS, a lot of great online content, Splatoon 2, and we're getting even more. Xenoverse is dropping. We've got Pokken Tournament dropping. We've already got Lego Worlds that dropped. There is a lot of games. Heck, Lego City even dropped. I mean, it just goes on and on with the amount of titles. So yeah, third-party games combined with really big first-party games, and the actual hook of the system, which is being able to take that game anywhere you want. Not only outside, but anywhere you want in your house. And for me, that's big. Lying down on the couch playing Project Octopath. That is amazing. So let me know what you guys think about this as far as what Reggie had to say. Do you agree with them? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the last article here. We do have North American TV spending as far as for July 2017, and Nintendo led the way as far as spending in July, which was interesting because usually it's something that they're pretty much maligned on a lot, but it seems like they changed up quite a bit from the Wii U and 3DS days. So let's go ahead and get into this here. Some of the highlights. Nintendo came in the #1 position, spending around $4.5 million for all of its advertising just in July alone, guys. That kind of just shows you how expensive advertising is. $4.5 million in 1 month. Nintendo aired 14 commercials over 1,600 times, racking up 230.6 million impressions or people, TV sets watching those. So that is very good. Money well spent, it seems like. Now, the spot with the biggest budget, an estimated of 931,632 units, was the new sleek look, which promotes the new Nintendo 2DS XL. So Nintendo really wanted to make sure that people were getting a look at this brand new $150 2DS XL, which has been selling very well, I should mind you, across the when it comes to things as far as NPD charts go. The 3DS did very well, the 2DS, 3DS did very well, and Metroid is out, so it should be interesting to see how those sales continue. Now, continuing on with this here, the commercials were seen on networks such as Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon. The commercials aired during shows like SpongeBob SquarePants, Teen Titans Go, and American Dad, which I should say that all of those networks and shows are very good. SpongeBob SquarePants is very funny. I like that show. Teen Titans Go is absolutely hilarious. I don't watch these anymore because I don't have cable, but they're very good. I used to watch them all the time when I had cable. I used to watch Teen Titans Go quite a bit, and SpongeBob, and plus American Dad. I would watch American Dad all the time. Having Adult Swim, that's definitely the audience that you want to go for, a little bit more of the teen to older audience. You have adults watching that as well, so very good shows to air it across, and I'm really happy that Nintendo is spending more and doing better with their advertising. They're getting good impressions, they're making sure to spend the amount when they can, and they led pretty much everyone. Sony and Microsoft didn't really have anything big for July. There wasn't really many big third-party games either. I think Destiny, that was early August, no, early September. Yeah, that was early September for Destiny 2. So there really wasn't anything in July, whereas Nintendo was cooking in July, man. There were games to play as far as hardware launching and new games coming out as far as Nintendo goes. So it's awesome that more people are getting their eyes on Nintendo products, whether it's the 3DS or the 2DS. And I think Nintendo's going to be spending more on marketing, especially heading into this holiday season, man. We've got a big month in September. Obviously, there's quite a number of games. Pokken is coming out, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Legos, all sorts of stuff already out. But then in October, that's also a big one as well, because that's Super Mario Odyssey month. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be spending quite a bit on advertising when it comes to that game, plus Fire Emblem Warriors as well. So let me know what you guys think about this advertising spending, in addition to all the different articles that I talked about here. Reggie Fils-Aimé, Suda on No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again, and more. So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the interwebs, in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon page. Pledge any tier, be entered into win some awesome prizes each month. In addition to that, we have Discord voice chat and $10 prize eShop tournaments for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and more. So support PE Live and PE Arena right here on PlayerEssence. Also, make sure you hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.